everyone, and welcome to the Week 14 review, Week 15 preview. 2 weeks left in the season. As always, I'm joined by the reigning champion, Joel Gibson. Joel Gibson, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. We're back on our winning streak over here. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. I mean, I can't even really be too upset. We'll get into it when we get to my matchup, but I believe everybody already knows I'm pretty sad about it this week. But, you know, it is what it is, man. With that being said, like I said, 2 weeks ago in the season, and then we're in playoffs, and I can tell you, normally I have a pretty good idea of who the top four is going to be come playoff time. I have no fucking clue who the top four is this year. I have no idea. Injuries are up in the air. COVID has everything up in the air. Teams are putting up wild lines. With that being said, we'll get right into the first matchup. I mean, Joel takes care of Phil. Surprise, surprise.
Took care of that one. Phil is now at a 1-13 record. I will say that Embiid was unbelievable this week.
I know. Might have had you a little nervous there, I'm betting.
Yeah, for a second. He dropped a 50 burger on me.
I saw that.
But Tatum went out there and he dropped a 50 burger of his own. Reassured me that things are going to be just fine. The champ looks A-okay. Last week was just a bump in the road.
Celtics were up huge, and they still had Tatum in there. I was confused, on that 50 burger, bringing it back to it. They were up 30, and I think he was still, in there bombing away threes and shit.
I wasn't upset.
Joel moves to 9-5. Phil moves to 1-13, as you alluded to. Yeah, Joel moving up. Phil remains in 12. Next matchup, by far the matchup of the week. You can make the argument for Cody versus Matt, but I'm going to tell you why it's Steven versus Modest. Steven and I put up two of the most impressive weeks that we've seen this year, and you can look back, you can compare the stats, you can look at everything. Steven, in and of himself, almost put up 900 points. The games are not over yet, and he still might do it. He's only 7 short. Actually, the games are over. He is at 893 in 1 week. That's 900. That's almost 2,000 in a playoff matchup. I don't think we've ever seen that. I don't think we've ever seen a solo 1,000 week. 900 is fucking nuts. 900's just nuts. Shout out to Steven. He's a killer in blocks. His rebounds are sensational. And his field goal percentage is incredible. I don't really have too much else to say. I put up 3 triple-doubles. Fucking Jimmy Butler had 2. I had 14 double-doubles, which was the most in the league. I had the second most points. I had the most assists. Solid free throw percentage. It's just what Steven and I are built the exact opposite. So this is how it's going to be, especially in the playoffs. Shout out to Steven for winning this one. I won the first one. Crazy matchup. Steven moves to 9-5, and I move to 8-6.
Man, yeah, super compelling. You guys came in with tied records this week. Could have gone either way. I think Steven hitting a lot of threes this week is huge. If he has a light week on threes, it also really affects his field goal percentage. So, I mean, this was just a good week for him. When you put up 12 double-doubles and still lose...
14, sir. 14. 14. I'd like to correct you. It's 14.
12 and he still lost.
Oh,
right. And he still won. It's just a monster week. 12 double-doubles wins that category almost any other week.
Yeah.
Good efforts by both of you, but not enough from you, Mr. Modest.
Yeah, it was certainly a bummer. Yeah, I just don't have anything really to say. Steals were light for me this week, especially Jimmy Butler. But outside of that, I'm hoping Steven and I get a chance to go at it in the playoffs and settle this 1-1. It's been really compelling this year. With that being said, we'll get into the next one, which, like I said, came down to the last couple games. Cody ends up losing and sitting the loss today against Matt Hobert. Had Zubac on his bench. He said he got home and fell asleep and woke up after it was able to be set. He missed out on it, and that's a bummer. That could really affect his seeding moving forward. Matt gets a much-needed win, especially with how the bottom of the playoff picture is starting to look. Both end up being 8-6 at the end of this matchup. I'd just like to say it's important to set your lineups. That's really it for this one.
Yeah, huge that Cody forgot to set his lineup. Not only do they have the tied records now, but Matt's going to have that tiebreaker over him, and that could come into play when it comes to seeding, which is right around the corner.
They're tied 1-1, Joel Gibson. Cody won the first time around. So that makes it even more interesting, especially if it gets the whole way down to divisional records and eventually points. It's crazy. When we get to the rankings, I'll try to remember. I can say, like, had Matt won versus had Cody won, the rankings actually looked a little bit different. With that in mind, we get to Neiman upsetting Kyle. Neiman wins, and like I said last week, I do not want to play. There are two teams that I do not want to play here at the end of the season, and it's Adam and it's Neiman. I don't want to be against these two right now. Both of them have been super hot going in. Now, Adam loses to Doug, as we'll get into some key ads from Doug, but Kyle is hitting that hill here, and without KD, he is getting AD back for next week. So I'm interested to see how he does against his opponent. But East and West, if we're getting into it, right now, Joel and Steven are only one game back of Kyle, who's the 1 seed. It would be a real shame if Kyle plays Mr. Modest next week and he makes it interesting. I don't really have too much to say here other than Neiman has Curry and Joker. And they're both playing incredible, and Joker's a phenom. And Curry's actually been slumping right now, and Neiman's still getting these wins.
Yeah, well, Neiman was active this week. He made some necessary drops. He made some necessary adds. I think Anthony Edwards is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, Kyle's just a little bit hollow. And with no KD and with no AD, he got deep down.
Oh, you mean Spencer Dinwiddie and Cole Anthony, I think is that guy's name? You mean they can't carry a team, Joel Gibson? I'm shocked.
Well, if anything, it's really good that you have Dinwiddie for $26 a cap rate.
Oh man, I love it. Anyway, no, but just remember, and we'll get. We're at Kyle's matchup, so I'll just go. No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna save some stuff for next week's preview. The next matchup is Adam at Doug. Adam loses to Doug here, making both their records 7-7. Doug had an incredible week on the wire. I did not expect Doug to be able to pull this off. Bad news came down about LaMelo Ball. That's going to be a big hit on his team. It makes Steven better with DeRozan. When Levine comes back, he will get that uptick from it. But losing LaMelo Ball 6 to 8 weeks, that's into the playoffs. And if you can't get out of that first round, especially because it's looking like you might be a bottom 2 seed facing a 1 or 2, that LaMelo Ball injury could be the difference. But Doug's hanging strong, and like I said, I loved his waiver wire game this week for sure.
Yeah, Adam came into this week the hottest team in the league. He had the longest winning streak of, I think, 6 games in a row. He beat me last week to take the lead in longest winning streak. But is it so? It's not LaMelo. It's not LaMelo. It's
Lonzo. Did I say LaMelo? I meant Lonzo. I meant Lonzo for Doug. LaMelo is Adam. Doug is Lonzo, so I apologize.
Healthy for Adam, and Lonzo is out for Doug.
Yeah.
Which makes Doug's win all the more impressive. He stopped the hottest team in the league, and he did it without his ball boy.
And Levine.
Could have won this matchup considering he's just been cleaning up for almost 7 weeks.
Yep.
But Doug was resilient, and I love his ads this week. He went out there, and he just got it done. He needed a win pretty bad, though.
Yeah, defense. That's how Doug picked up this win. And like I said, very impressive being down. He had no chance in points. It was a nice advantage in turnovers, but somehow still pulled out 9 double-doubles this week. Really impressive from Doug. The last matchup is CJ taking care of Eric pretty handedly. I don't think there's any surprise here. There's not really much to say about this one. It was a thrashing, 8-2-1. I mean, CJ's team's right there. It's carried by what Westbrook and LeBron are gonna do. He won this week without Lowry. Not that he needed him, but yeah, I mean this one's pretty straight up. We can officially eliminate Eric from playoff contention mathematically now.
My hot take is that Eric is going to. Well, I haven't looked at what the matchups are, but I think Eric could finish with a worse record than Phil.
The records right now, Eric is at 3-11 and Phil is at 1-13. So
damn, Eric has 3. Damn, I thought you only had 2. Okay, never mind. I take it all back.
I was about to say Eric plays Steven, and then he plays me the last week. So I don't think Eric's getting any more wins, but I also don't think Phil's picking up any more either. So and I think Eric won the one matchup they played each other as well. I don't know who Phil beat. I can't remember who Phil beat.
If Phil could take one right to our guy Matt Hobert, that would be amusing.
That would be really funny if Embiid just takes him down. He's just like, fuck it, here it comes.
He would have to do it by himself, but man, it would be good.
Yeah. Oh man, it just sucks. Zion, man, he just looks so big still. He's not playing. I said a while back that Zion is just not playing this year. There's a reason why I traded for Ingram early in the season. I didn't believe he was playing immediately as soon as they started saying about the foot injury and the foot surgery. I was like, well, he's done this year. And nobody wanted to believe me. I said it.
Man, it sure would be a shame if Ingram went down for the season and a guy like Herb Jones just saw an increased usage.
Hey, he's injured. He is injured. He sprained that damn left ankle again. This man's ankles are terrible. Those scrawny-ass legs are not able. It is bad. So
the season and just get him healthy, get him right.
Yeah, yeah, I would love that. I'm sure you can understand. With that being said, we'll speed through these rankings. It's pretty straightforward. Number 12 is Phil at 1-13. Number 11 is 3-11. Eric. Neiman is number 10 at 6-8. And you're going to hear how close these records are as we move through. Number 9 is Adam. Doug has both wins over Adam. This win, I cannot tell you how big it was for Doug. Doug holds the number 8 spot, Both he and Adam are 7-7 with 2 games to go. If Doug can have a better record than Adam, or if it stays the same, all he has to do is match Adam's record no matter what he does. Doug makes it to the playoffs, and Adam will be left out in the cold depending. And what does that mean for Neiman? Neiman has to win 2 more games to finish at 500. And 500 might not be... We said at the beginning of the year that 500 wasn't going to be enough. Is it too close and is it too late for Neiman to come back? Definitely something I'm watching with 2 weeks to go. Number 7 is Cody. Modest has beat Cody. And now the next 4 are Matt, Modest, Cody, and CJ. I apologize. CJ, and you all forgive me, I'm going to show my little notepad here. There's scratches everywhere because I thought that Cody was going to come back against Matt. So forgive me when I'm going through these rankings. I'm reading through a lot of chicken scratch. CJ, I have at 8-6. And the only reason why is because Cody has beat CJ. I have also beat CJ once, and he's beat me, but I hold the ultimate tiebreaker so far based on division and everything. And Matt has beat me. So it's in that order. CJ is at 7. Cody is at 6. I am at 5. And Matt is at 4. You'll remember also when Matt was up this high, he ranks higher because he has the tiebreaker with me. He's tied with Cody at 1-1. And I did not look up Matt over CJ. I should have, but we'll see if that's still necessary at the end. Next is Steven at 9-5. Joel has the tiebreaker with Steven. So this is going to get really interesting at the top over the next 2 weeks. Joel has the tiebreaker and is the top of the East. So if Kyle, go ahead.
I do not have the tiebreaker with Steven. Steven beat me this year.
Oh, I do have it. Oh, I do have it written. That's my fault. Steven is over Joel, but Joel is number 1 in the East, and Kyle is number 1 because he has the best record over Steven. I apologize, Steven. I apparently am horrible at reading my own handwriting. So, Joel...
want to take that number 2 under false pretenses.
No, and I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to make it seem like I'm shitting on Steven's team after he just lit my ass up. Like, he deserves all the respect I can give him, for sure. Yeah, like I said, Steven 3, Joel 2. Another big win, reason why Matt beating Cody was so big. Joel maintains that 1-game lead in the East with 2 to go. Yeah, that whole thing would have changed the whole landscape. Like, had Cody had won, he would have been 4. Matt would have fell the whole way to fucking 7-7. He would have fallen under Doug and Adam based on tiebreakers. So Matt from 5 could have been fucking 10 if he had lost it. Cody, could have been 4, falls the whole way to 6. It really weird as far as ranking goes, and just 1 win can make or break you this year.
Man, this coming week is so compelling.
Oh, there's so many interesting ones this week, and it's so funny with 2 weeks to go, and I mean, 4 wins separate the top 9 teams. 5 wins separate the top 10. So, wow. No, I guess technically it's 3 wins separate the top 9 and 4 wins separates the top 10. I have no excuse for my horrible math this week. It's been terrible. That being said, we'll get right into next week's matchup. Talk about starting with a compelling matchup. Doug at Joel Gibson. Doug 7-7. Joel is 9-5. He's the home team. And, man, it's just tough for Doug. I don't know that he's going to be able to finesse Joel like he finessed Adam last week with Lonzo being out. It's certainly going to be hard for Doug to compete because of Joel's build. Like, if it was another kind of big man heavy team or something like that. But I will point out that Doug put up 9 double-doubles, and Joel, what did you have, 6 this week? So it's not like Joel has a really good build against Doug. You know what I mean? They're kind of the opposites, but I think that it's just going to come down to health. Halliburton is returning for Doug, so I'll point that out. Joel, do you have anybody out?
Sabonis and Isaac.
Oh, right, Sabonis. I forgot Sabonis went down. But I believe it was only a few games, right? So you still might get him back this week.
Yeah, so he was out for 2 games. And then I think it's possible he may be back on, like, Wednesday. So we'll see. But he's very, very helpful. I need him for double-doubles and for assists.
Yeah, I mean, Doug's assist total is very low, so I'm not sure that it's going to matter. Even with Levine coming back, you're strong enough in threes, at least based on last week, that I wouldn't be too worried about it. Where I'm looking is steals. I mean, Doug had 42 last week, which is a huge number. You had 38. That's within 4. Blocks, Doug kind of has heavy. But it's interesting because you have points, you have free throw percentage locked up. Wow, this one's going to be interesting. I'm taking I'm taking Joel at home only because he's home team. I don't like how these categories are shaping up, and everything's really close. Be watching the steals category. And anytime I pick against Doug, he somehow wins. So just like I said last week, I think I picked Adam. You're welcome, Doug. We're back on the train. I'm picking Joel at home.
I'm picking myself for a few reasons. 1, I'm the champ. 2, hopefully Sabonis comes back, and you're not going to see Lonzo back. Also, Doug had to, I think he used all of his acquisitions or most of his acquisitions last week. I did not have to do that.
He used 5 for the record.
He used 5? Okay. I feel it's probably going to take whichever one of us plays the wire better. But I think I'm going to be okay.
Excellent. And then, like I said, that would move Doug under 500, and we're back to that damn 500 number. Is it going to be enough to get him in? Yeah, like I said, I'll take Joel, and we'll see. Next matchup is Modest at Kyle. Kyle won first round, and he's probably going to get AD back this week. We'll see. But it's not going to fucking matter. And here's why it's not going to matter. Kyle's team, we've been saying all year, is a house of cards. Cole Anthony is finally coming down to earth. Suggs, well, he's been playing better. He's taken away from Cole Anthony. I still have no idea what happened to Mo Bamba tonight. 7 minutes, foul issues, whatever. Play him more minutes. I don't care. Regardless, I have Beal, who it's going to be Beal versus Dinwiddie. Okay, great. I'm going to win that matchup. I don't have Ingram this week, so that kind of puts me out. I don't know about Powell, but he doesn't have KD. And guess who has Harden? That's it for me here. I think I continue. Jimmy Butler has looked sensational. And I think I'm going to get that triple-double, and I think I'm going to win this coming week. You and Steven are both welcome because I'm bringing home a win.
Man, I can't wait until you do. I'm picking you as well for most of the same reasons that you mentioned. I've long been a Harden believer, and with no KD for Kyle, it spells problems. So I can't wait for Kyle to be down to a tied record with me and Steven.
Excellent. Shout out to House of Cards Kyle. That's what I'm going to start calling him. He should change his name to that. That should be his dynasty name. Just House of Cards Kyle. That's all I want. I also want a public admission after he gets bounced after the first or second round this year that he was in fact a house of cards, like we were saying all along. He's kind of been ragging you and I all year on the messenger. Keeps talking about how great Cole Anthony is. Doesn't say a lot about Dinwiddie for some reason. I have no idea why. But
those like early 2000 Hawk teams.
Yeah.
That played really well in the regular season.
Yeah.
And then you would just realize in the playoffs that like you can't rely on Kyle Korver for isolation plays.
Right. Wow, that's a really good comparison. I like it. Yeah, next matchup. That's so good. Oh, man. Next matchup is Adam at Cody. Cody took a hard loss this past week. Adam is looking for revenge after losing to Doug. It's close. Luke has been looking a lot better for Cody. This is another one of those that it's like, wow, it could really go either way. Both teams are built differently again. I think that Adam's a little more guard heavy, where Cody's a little bit more big man heavy, at least as far as the stats go. Not necessarily that he is, but he gets more rebounds from his guards and things like that.
And to me, this is a must-win for both these guys. Adam is now back at a tied record.
Mm-hmm.
He's been on this huge hot streak, and if he doesn't win these last 2 weeks, he might not make it in.
I know. He, Doug, and Neiman are all must-win for the rest of the way. They can't afford to lose a game and let it... I guess Doug is the only one that could really afford for all three of them to keep losing, because he has the 2 tiebreaker against Adam. And I believe he also... I think he lost to Neiman, but Neiman would have to win and he would have to lose, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I think he was a victim of Neiman's hot streak, though. I'm just like looking at these scores from last week, and like I said, it's really similar to you and Doug as well, in the fact that it's just so different structure. I mean, Cody is way more solid defensively. I'm going to take Cody at home. I think Cody sets his lineups, and I think he starts cycling. He might be a little bit more worried about seeding at this point. And I just, some reason, I'm going with Cody this week.
I'm going to go Cody as well. I think he's just a little bit more well-rounded, and he's pretty motivated at this point to stay in the playoff picture and not have a 8 or a 7 seed attached to his name.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it would be tough to just get in and then have to face like, well, we lost Joel. I have no idea why we lost Joel. His phone likely died. Well, I'm trying to reconnect him here. We will look at the next matchup. It is CJ at Neiman. Another matchup that is going to be a must-win for Neiman. If he loses this one, I don't think that he gets into the playoffs. CJ's team has been playing well. Let me see here. I don't think... Hold on, let me just see if CJ's been without Lowry. Yeah, let me see here. Okay. And I think Kyrie has a few home games this week, which is going to be a problem. I'm going to go Neiman at home, just purely on a gut instinct. I think that Neiman at least makes it a little bit more interesting. And we'll see how it goes. CJ could eliminate Neiman with a win here. It doesn't look like Joel is going to get back on. His phone must have died. We'll get... The next 2 matchups are pretty straightforward. First one is Eric at Steven. Eric's not going to win. Steven is going to win. Steven will get that 10th win. Eric will not get that 4th win, and I apologize here at the end. I'm trying to reconnect. Phil at Matt is our last matchup. Phil has looked okay. Embiid has been nice, but I just don't know that it's enough. Matt's been healthy, and I think that Matt is going to win at home here, which again will be a good win for Matt, especially after pulling off that big win with Cody. And we'll move him to the 9th win and give him a chance at 10 wins. Yeah, I think that I am the only away team that I have picked this week. All the others have been away teams, or home teams. I apologize. With that being said, good luck to everybody in the last 2 weeks. Sorry for all my mistakes today. I'm not thrilled with my performance. And also Joel losing connection here at the end hasn't been great either. But if you have made it this far, thanks for always hanging in there. And 2 weeks left until playoffs, boys. It's been a great season. If anybody has any questions, feel free to call me. Outside of that, we'll see you next week.